What if the next big revolution in American trucking didn't come from Detroit, but from Sweden? The US trucking industry is standing at a pivotal moment. One industry continues along the path of legacy equipment, traditional brands, and incremental innovation. But the other direction leads towards transformation. And this is where Scania enters the conversation. The renowned Swedish manufacturer has consistently set the benchmark for long-haul performance across Europe, and it appears to be preparing for a significant move into the American market. And in many ways, the timing could not be more ideal. After the economic turbulence of the early 2020s, the US is beginning to stabilize. Inflation has cooled to approximately 2.3% as of April 2025, a considerable improvement from its 9.1% peak in 2022. And at the same time, the Infrastructure and Investment and Jobs Act is injecting $1.2 trillion into the nation's transportation systems. More than $110 billion is being directed towards the modernization of roads and bridges, while $7.5 billion is allocated for electric vehicle charging networks. These changes signal a deliberate shift towards smarter, cleaner, and more future-ready logistics solutions. For fleet operators, this shift is more than policy. It's a business imperative. With fuel prices unpredictable and fuel accounting for nearly a quarter of operational costs, the demand for more efficient, technologically advanced vehicles is growing rapidly. And in this environment, Scania's offerings, refined engineering, class-leading fuel economy, cutting-edge safety features, and driver-centric comfort stand out. This video explores why the present moment gives a rare opportunity for Scania to successfully enter and thrive in the US market. But before we begin, credit is given to Bruce Wilson. His insightful coverage of Scania's innovations has helped bring global attention to this important topic. Now before we begin, don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel for more interesting trucking videos. Now I'm not going to sugarcoat it. The US trucking industry is massive, but it's also mature and maybe even a bit stubborn. Legacy fleets dominate the roads. Peterbilt, Kenworth, Freightliner, they're icons, no doubt, but icons can get complacent. Right now, the US trucking scene is facing a perfect storm. Inflation has cooled, but fuel remains unpredictable. Diesel prices swing like a sledgehammer, wrecking budgets overnight. And driver shortages are worsening. According to the American Trucking Associations, we were short over 80,000 drivers in 2021. By 2023, the numbers had decreased approximately 60,000, primarily due to a downturn in freight demand rather than an influx of new drivers. And that number could hit 160,000 by 2030. And maintenance costs are skyrocketing. Aging fleets means more breakdowns and more downtime and more dollars burned. On top of that, government mandates are tightening the screws. Emissions regulations are becoming stricter, especially at the state level. California's Advanced Clean Fleets rule is just one example. And when regulators crack down, innovation isn't optional, it's essential. But get this, US fleets are thirsty for better tech, smarter trucks, and greener solutions. Drivers want comfort. Owners want efficiency, and right now, most of them aren't getting either. In short, the market is begging for a disruption. And Scania, it's tailor-made for this moment. Meanwhile, have you ever stepped into a Scania cab? It feels like you're entering the future of trucking. Everything inside is refined and thoughtfully designed. The cabin is quiet, streamlined, and engineered with the driver in mind. American drivers who've had the chance to operate a Scania overseas often describe it as one of the most comfortable and advanced environments they've experienced on the road. And it's not just a vehicle. It's a workplace built with precision and purpose. One of Scania's standout innovations is its OptiCruise transmission system. Unlike conventional transmissions found in many American trucks, OptiCruise is an automated manual system that seamlessly combines the fuel efficiency of a manual gearbox with the ease and smoothness of an automatic. It doesn't just react to road conditions, it anticipates them. The OptiCruise adapts to the terrain, vehicle load, and driving style, shifting gears with intelligence and precision. And in rigorous European testing, it consistently delivers better fuel economy and quicker acceleration than many of its North American counterparts, including including Eaton, Allison, and Detroit DT12. It's a more refined, intelligent system designed to make each journey smoother and more economical. Now, safety is another area where Scania excels. The brand equips its trucks with a full suite of advanced safety technologies, including adaptive cruise control, lane keeping assist, and emergency braking and collision warning, and driver alertness monitoring. These systems work together to reduce accidents and support driver awareness. In comparison, many US trucks still rely heavily on legacy safety technologies, with increasing focus from regulatory bodies like the DOT and FMCSA on implementing next-generation safety measures. Scania is already meeting standards that many competitors are only beginning to approach. Behind the scenes, Scania's connectivity and telematics platform gives fleet operators a powerful advantage. Their fleet management system offers a real-time diagnostics, predictive maintenance alerts, optimized routing, and remote software updates. It's a toolset designed for operational efficiency and cost control. If a truck develops a minor issue, the system can detect it and report it before it turns into a costly breakdown. And it's this level of connectivity enables proactive management and long-term reliability, which are key concerns for modern fleets. Scania's reputation for fuel efficiency is well earned. Their engines are designed to meet and exceed Europe's stringent fuel and emissions regulations, emphasizing precision and minimal waste. They are engineered to deliver top-tier performance while consuming less fuel, which directly translates into a lower total cost of ownership. And over time, the savings in fuel, maintenance, and uptime make a compelling case for long-haul operators focused on maximizing profitability. And comfort is the final piece of Scania's competitive edge. The cab environment is insulated, quiet, and smooth, thanks to advanced air suspension systems. Every control is ergonomically placed. The seating is carefully designed to reduce fatigue and improve posture, offering exceptional support for long hours on the road. In Europe, drivers actively prefer Scania for these reasons. It's a truck that values the person behind the wheel. For the American market, where driver retention has become a major problem, offering a comfortable and driver-centric cab is more important than ever. In summary, Scania sets itself apart through advanced technology, exceptional safety, and unmatched fuel efficiency, and driver-first comfort. These are not just features, they are strategic advantages. As the US trucking industry evolves and looks for more intelligent, sustainable, and driver-friendly solutions, Scania stands ready to meet those demands head-on. Now, this is where the strategy becomes crystal clear. Scania is not just watching the US from the sidelines and from a distance. It's already positioning itself on the inside, thanks to its parent company. Traton also owns Navistar International, one of the most recognizable names in American trucking. But what does this mean in practical terms? Well, it means Scania has immediate access to a vast, established service and dealership network, with over 700 locations spread across the United States. And that's a huge advantage. Because in the world of commercial trucking, support is everything. No matter how advanced or efficient a truck is, if there's no strong service network behind it, fleets won't take the risk. And Scania doesn't have to build that trust from the ground up. It can already tap directly into Navistar's infrastructure. Parts availability, warranty fulfillment, and skilled technicians are already in place. And now consider this. A US fleet decides to try out a batch of Scania trucks. They're brought in, serviced, and maintained right alongside international models. Same teams, no extra training or downtime required. For fleet managers, that kind of seamless support creates immediate confidence. And in this industry, trust is as valuable as is uptime. And there's also a major brand advantage here. Instead of being introduced as an unfamiliar European outsider, Scania enters as the high-end counterpart to an American legacy brand. That's a powerful narrative. It's not just a smart market entry. It redefines how new competition can arrive with built-in credibility. Navistar itself has been making strides towards modernization, increasingly focused on technology, emissions, and cleaner engines. Scania's presence within that system will likely act as a catalyst, pushing innovation forward even faster. And this isn't a hostile entry or a foreign takeover. It's a natural progression. An evolution, not an invasion. Scania and Navistar together represent a strategic head start, combining European service reputation with a robust US footprint. That's not just preparation, that's momentum. Now you may be wondering, if Scania is so well regarded, why haven't they done this already? Why haven't they entered the US market before? Well, the answer lies in two significant challenges: tariffs and trade friction. For many years, economic and regulatory barriers have made entry difficult for European truck manufacturers. High tariffs placed European models at a pricing disadvantage, making it nearly impossible to compete without incurring substantial financial losses. And on top of that, the lack of regulatory alignment between US and EU safety emission standards added layers of complexity and cost. However, those conditions are beginning to shift. In the aftermath of the pandemic and the recent trade tensions, the United States and the European Union have resumed trade negotiations aimed at improving regulatory cooperation. Current efforts focus on mutual recognition agreements that would align safety and emission standards. For manufacturers like Scania, this could eliminate the need to certify each model twice, once for Europe and again for the US, making market entry significantly more viable. At the same time, recent federal environmental policies have accelerated regulatory changes targeting heavy-duty vehicle emissions. New standards rolling out between 2027 and 2032 are pushing the industry towards cleaner and more efficient technologies. Federal funding such as the EPA's initiatives supporting zero-emission commercial fleets is further fueling this shift. States like California, Oregon, and New York continue to lead with strict regulations and incentive programs, but other states are gradually adopting similar frameworks. In short, the regulatory landscape is evolving, and for the first time in decades, meaningful access to the US market is within reach. Scania, with its mature technology and readiness for clean transport, is well positioned to make that leap. And the shift in policy and trade dynamics have significantly reduced barriers for European truck manufacturers. The US and EU are working toward reducing trucking tariffs and import duties, which is further enhancing the viability of Scania's market entry. The post-COVID and post-trade war environment has also fostered a more global supply chain mindset, creating opportunities for companies like Scania to expand. And on the regulatory side, there is a growing push for low-emission and safer trucks, spearheaded by initiatives from the U.S. Department of Transportation and the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration and various state governments. These regulatory incentives align well with Scania's hybrid and alternative fuel solutions, which already comply with global standards. This strategic positioning ensures that Scania is ready to take advantage of the evolving market and regulatory landscape. In short, the evolving trade policies and regulatory incentives make now the ideal moment for Scania to enter the US market. With its industry-leading technology, compliance with global standards, and a strong track record in Europe, Scania is primed to make a significant impact on the American trucking industry. But let's be honest, it's not all green lights and open highways here. Scania does face a few speed bumps on the road to American dominance and success. First up, brand loyalty and perception. US trucking culture runs deep, with a strong attachment to iconic American brands like Kenworth, Peterbilt, and Freightliner. The image of those long-nosed haulers moving along highways like I-70 is ingrained in the country's trucking identity. Scania's cab-over design might be a bit of a culture shock for some, and there's no denying that the brand isn't as familiar to the American driver. However, younger drivers entering the industry through CDL schools and those who aren't a part of long-established family trucking businesses are less attached to tradition and more focused on what trucks offer in terms of features, comfort, and technology. This shift in priorities could give Scania a real edge in attracting the next generation of truckers. And then there's the concern about sticker shock. Yes, a Scania might come with a higher price tag up front, but that cost is offset by long-term savings, lower fuel bills, and fewer maintenance needs. Better driver retention and extended service intervals all contribute to a significant total cost of ownership advantage. When fleet managers run the numbers, the financial case for Scania becomes increasingly clear. And finally, there is the regulatory hurdles. Complying with DOT regulations and securing state certifications and passing emissions tests are all part of the process, except Scania is already doing these challenges. Early reports suggest that the company is actively pursuing regulatory approval through pilot programs and homologation processes with relevant authorities. While navigating the red tape will take some time, it's more of a delay than a true roadblock. So, while there are a few obstacles in the way, they're not unbeatable. With a strategic focus on modern technology, long-term savings, and proactive regulatory engagement, Scania is well on its way to making a successful entry into the US market. But here's the bottom line. The US trucking industry is at a crossroads. caught between tradition and transformation. Scania, with its advanced technology and exceptional fuel efficiency, top-tier safety, and unmatched driver comfort, is ready to bring something new to the market. And thanks to its partnership with Navistar, Scania has the service and dealer network needed to hit the ground running in the US market. And with growing tariff shifts and a strong push for sustainability, the regulatory landscape is also leaning in Scania's favor. Sure, there are challenges, brand loyalty, pricing concerns, and regulatory hurdles, but it's nothing that Scania hasn't faced before. And this isn't about replacing American trucks. It's about offering a smarter, more efficient alternative. And Scania's entry into the US could change the game for how goods are moved across the country. So whether you're a trucking enthusiast, a fleet owner, or simply curious about the future of transportation, keep an eye on Scania. The future of American trucking might just have a Swedish accent. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Big thanks to Bruce Wilson for his work in trucking media. Until next time, stay safe out there.